Hello again everyone and welcome back. Well, I'm reviewing a very special cigar today. I have to be honest with you. It was strongly suggested to me by someone at the local shop here last week. I didn't know much about this cigar. I have since learned it is made by Camacho, and the ingredients look amazing. The cigar is the Ditka Throwback. And here it is. It's a Corojo Maduro. There's your density. And it really feels nice in the hand. The band, I'll give you the ingredients in just a minute, but the band is just amazing. When I opened up the box, and you can see from the pictures on the intro, it comes in its own coffin. The camera probably won't do it justice, but here at the top, this big black band is a sort of a holographic-like picture of Mike Ditka. Now there you can see underneath it, Throwback and Camacho. I really hope the camera picks that up, but it's very cool. Now about the ingredients in the cigar. Being Camacho, it's going to be, and being Mike Ditka, I expect it to be fairly strong, full-bodied, but very flavorful because Camacho is known for that. It's a 5th priming Honduran Corojo Maduro wrapper, Brazilian binder, and Dominican, Nicaraguan, and Honduran fillers. We're covering most of the Caribbean here. So, it's 6x50. And these are extremely limited. Only 5,000 boxes of 10, I believe, are made. Possibly by the time you see this review, they could be just about all gone. So there we are, the Mike Ditka Throwback. Let's get right to it. I didn't mention anything about the oily wrapper. It's very shiny, and I'm sure the lights can pick that up. The cigar is pretty well made. The wrapper appears to be quite thick and coarse, and there are a few veins running through it, but it's pretty well made. Now let's go ahead and cut the cap, I will say, with my little Zycar here. Oh, effortless draw. A lot of sweet notes just right there on the dry draw, if you will. Right at the very first, it's there is a sweet cedar and cream combination, but the pepper is extremely high. It's at least an 8. There are some earth notes and some black coffee, dark coffee notes, but there is quite a bit of pepper. The pepper is affecting the initial flavors at this point, only to the point that there's so much pepper, and it's straight black pepper. Yeah, it's pretty much a creamy type cedar, and it has some sweetness. So let's see where it goes from here, because this is going to be a nice full-bodied cigar. I mean, right out of the gate, you're pretty much dealing with full-bodied. You can tell it's going to be. So let's see where we go from here. The Mike Ditka Throwback by Camacho. Well, I'm close to an inch in, and the cigar has definitely transitioned. The overabundance of pepper is toned down, the earthy notes have toned down, the coffee's toned down, and the sweet flavors have popped up. There is still what I can detect, and this is a little bit on the side of a complex cigar because there's a lot of things going on and it's hard to nail them down. but I'm going to try. There's a very sweet cedar now. It started out so-so, but it's very sweet now. And there's another flavor there which I can only describe as a blackberry type flavor. Still have your coffee notes. The cream notes are not so much anymore. It started out that way, but not so much anymore. And there is still some underlying earthiness, but the primary flavor you get now are the sweeter flavors of the very sweet cedar and what I'll describe as a blackberry combination. So as you can see, the ash looks very strong, very sturdy, very light in color, actually almost white. So that's where we are now. When I said before we're going to be dealing with a full-bodied cigar, it's not really at that point now, but I expected to get there. I would call it medium to full. It's around that range now, and as we go, my expectations may not be met, but with this type of these type of ingredients and this manufacturer, I expect it to be fairly full-bodied. So that's not an unreal expectation. Let's see where we go from here, but those are nice sweet flavors on the front end at this point. I guess I'm an inch and a half or so in, just a little further than we were last time, but the sweet flavors are starting to get rich. And it's changed the cedar blackberry combination to cedar and raisins. It's very sweet. You know how sweet raisins are. Combine that with rich sweet cedar, and you've got a very thick sweet flavor. Almost, and here's another term I use, candy-like. The syrupy, almost. Very thick. There's still the underlying coffee notes, and the earth notes are not so much around. You don't notice them because of all those overwhelming sweet flavors. So what are we at? About an inch and a half, did I say? It's really turned rich and sweet, and it is really nice. The only reason I came back was not to give you an update, but just to show you a perfect burn. If you want to see one, look at that burn line. Look at the ash, how dense it is, no splintering. That was worth pointing out. That's great. Well, I am right at the band, and you can see how perfect the burn is by the end of the band, the lower part of the band, and where the burn line is. The ash did fall off. Luckily I was outside on my deck when it did, and it was about close to 2 inches long. Now, one thing I've noticed or remembered, I'm going to have to remove this band as I speak to you. I haven't spoken about the finish. The finish is, there's the band, and we'll look at it closer later. Stick that over there. The finish is very thick. It's more than a sweet cream. It's beyond that. I'll call it almost custard-like in flavor. A vanilla pudding. Are any of these things making sense? You get where I'm going with this? It's a very thick, creamy vanilla. That's all I got, because it's hard to describe. It's so thick and sweet and has some almost richness to it. It's very nice, and a large abundance of lingering pepper. The front end flavors at this point are about the same. There is a lot of sweetness with that cedar and kind of a raisiny combination. has some richness. It was more earlier, but it still has richness. Now the coffee notes are detectable, the earth notes are detectable now, and it's almost at points where I get a little dry oak, but it has came and went. So it's a pop-up flavor. The other ones are pretty well standard. The cigar is still medium to full-bodied, and the burn is just amazing. This is a well-made cigar, very tasty. Okay, we're very close to the end, so let's wrap it up. I didn't really come back from the last segment to now, simply because there wasn't a lot of change, but you know those oak notes that we talked about in the last segment? They are much more pronounced from that last segment through this part. Your front end flavors are the nice sweet cedar with the raisin combination. Has a little richness to it, but it's very sweet. Coffee notes are underlying, and the earth notes now, with the addition of oak, you don't really get a lot of earthiness. So finish is about the same. Nice, thick, sweet finish. Pepper remained good throughout. Actually, the cigar ended up medium to full bodied. It surprised me. Not quite where I thought it would go, but still very, very good. Excuse me. It took about, roughly an hour and a half to smoke the cigar. And I have very much enjoyed it. I would like to thank Tommy at the Tobacco Merchant for recommending this, because it was an excellent cigar. Camacho has done a great job for this edition of the Mike Ditka collection. And not much else to say. Let's score it. I'm giving it a score of 94. This is a really, really, really good cigar. Very, very limited in availability, so if you can find them, grab a few. Don't believe it was priced crazy. I believe it was $9 at the local shop, so it may vary from where you are, but it's around that range. So there you have it, folks. The Mike Ditka Throwback.